Hey everyone, so for my John Maxwell today and for my reflection, I'm using The Leader's Heart by John Maxwell and the Doreen Virtue book, Mornings with the Lord. So for today's reflection, it was called Spare Change. And basically it's looking at how when we join a company or when we join an organization, there's a lot of goodwill towards us. There's a lot of what they call spare change towards us. But then after that, we have to prove ourselves. We have to keep putting deposits into the company, the organization, the country, in order for that goodwill to continue. So I think when we prove ourselves and we don't get that reward in return, the company lands up bankrupt. The company lands up losing business. The company lands up with jobs going to other countries because they're not looking after their employees. They're not valuing their employees. They're not giving them benefits or looking after their mental health. And they might be making millions today, but it soon catches up with them. And Richard Branson always says that your employees are your biggest asset. If you're not taking care of your employees, you're not making sure that they have benefits, they paid good wages, they given time off, and you're not willing to invest in them to help them get to where they want to be in their careers, your company will ultimately suffer. So the scripture John Maxwell gives is Proverbs 20:28. Love and truth form a good leader. Sound leadership is founded on loving integrity. And so either we land up keeping that goodwill, that spare change in our pocket, or we land up paying it out. And you can see that, for example, with TD now. They're hiring people. There was an article I read where a teller transferred over 100,000 from a bank account into her bank account. They're doing it blatantly. So it started with the card money laundering scheme in the US, and then now this is happening here in Canada. So obviously, they got fined by the US, by the regulators, and the police are now arresting people. So in the past, like with what happened to me, the bankers always say, oh no, we'll deal with it internally. But this time, a reporter picked it up and they got caught. And I'm glad they got caught because it breaks your heart when you work hard, when you're honest, when you give 100% to the company and you never get promoted. You never get those salary increases. You never get support to retrain, to study, to do things. You never get the benefits. And other people who are doing all this nonsense are getting support and they're getting covered up by their companies. So I gave examples of what happened at Teleperformance. You can just read, you can go on the internet and search and read. So I'm saying that it's good because when I reported things, nobody believed me. People call me delusional. Obviously, some of the things I reported couldn't be confirmed because they were things that I just noticed when I was out. But I was told to keep a record of it and to report it, and that's what I did. And you see it with the other banks, you see it with HSBC, you see it now with that woman, I don't know what her name is, the one who laundered money equivalent to the GDP of a country. Lynn Tran, I think that's her name. So that's what he's talking about when you talk about leaders who make good decisions and recording wins build up change. And if they make huge blunders, they still have plenty of change left over because they still have the trust of their people. And when things like this keep happening and we keep seeing that, okay, the management know, the executive know what's happening, but they're going to continue doing this. Look what's happening to Canada. Look what's happening. The food banks are growing, people are lining up, the crime is growing. There was a shootout, an 8-minute drive from here. There was a shootout. That never used to happen in Canada. And it's really, really sad. I've been sitting at home since COVID ended in 2019. That's a long time, 2021. It started in 2019. I've been sitting at home since then because I can't get a job. With all my skills, my credentials, my education, I've been applying to jobs left, right, and center. I've been applying across Canada, in South Africa, in America, in Ireland, in England, not one job. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. If I was somebody who wanted to just sit at home and do nothing and have fun, it would be different, but I don't. And I don't like taking other people's money. I've always hated it. I hated it when I had to ask my uncles to help me when I went to university in South Africa. I hated it when I was unemployed. I hated taking money from my mother, even though she wanted to give it to me. I hated it. I know we all worked and we all contributed to the house expenses and to the payment of that house, my dad's house, but I still hated it. And I hate it now. I hate it because I have skills, I have education, I'm a good worker, and yet I can't get a management job. And every time they hire me, they put me back into minimum wage if it's a full-time position, and I don't deserve it. I also deserve to have my contract roles, which were paying $40 an hour, $50 an hour, turn into a full-time job. Because rest assured, the people that are doing all this money laundering and all that, they're earning good salaries already. It's just greed. It's plain greed. That's all it is. And that's why what's happening now is happening. That's why the police are arresting people. And yet if people like me make one mistake, they end the contract. If somebody didn't follow the instructions that I gave them to follow, they end the contract. How unfair is that to me? When I came to Canada, I asked them, I said, I want to stay at TD, I want to build a career in HR, I want help to retrain, I'm going to Rotman. They said no, because you are working as an admin assistant and we're not willing to invest in you in the name of equality. So I said, yeah, but I am an HR professional. I couldn't get a job in HR because they were saying I didn't have Canadian experience. So I'm asking for help so that I can do this. They said no. So I paid my $10,000 to Rotman. I went and I competed with the best of the best. We all had the same cases, the same Canadian cases, and I graduated with straight A's. So all those people are all sitting in HR director roles, HR manager roles, senior executive assistant roles, and me, why can't I get that same job? Why can't I get those same privileges? Why is it every time I say that I would also like some help for my HRPA professional dues or money towards retraining and upgrading my skills or going to conferences, having the flights paid, why is it always no for me, but it's yes for everybody else? It's completely unfair, and I'm not the only one experiencing this kind of thing. That's why I'm trying to build up my John Maxwell so that I can get an income coming in from that. But even with that, I put my GoFundMe link on there to try to get some income that way. Because I've been sitting at home on my bum for over a year. I do things to use my creative skills. I made these essential oil candles. I do embroidery. I go out for walks. I go swimming. I do everything I can to keep my mental health up and to keep my spirits up. But it's not easy. It's not easy at all. And it's ridiculous. I also want to be in that management position where I can tell people, oh, well, you know what, we let our customer service people go because we didn't have the budget for it. And it's so hard because, I'm in management and I have to make all these tough decisions. And I'd like to do that because that's what they do to me. They can never find the budget in their multi-billion-dollar companies. They can never find the budget for an honest person, for somebody who holds their team together, who does a good job, who comes into this country and invests in it. They can never find the budget, ever. It's ridiculous. And staying at home all the time, every day, since 2021, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, it's 5 years now. Do you think I enjoy it? Do you think I like buying everything on clearance? Do you think I like never having money to go on a holiday or go see my friends or visit my family? Do you think I like always being broke financially? I don't like it. I don't like it at all. And Canada, the people are leaving. I was even talking to the security guards and she was telling me many of my friends who came here, they're leaving, they're going back. They don't like it here because we didn't expect Canada to be this way. Many people are going back. They're going back to India, they're going back to Africa. Because when you come here, you want to get to a good paid job. You want to have those opportunities to earn those good salaries. And what the companies are doing to us here is being noted. It's being noted by Amnesty International. It's being noted by companies all over the world. Because it's becoming like Saudi Arabia, where if they want their stadiums built and they want everything done, they give you back-breaking work and they pay you peanuts. And there's no premium if it's a high-pressure job. Their attitude is, if you don't want it, go. That's why this country is suffering now. That's why. Because if you care about people, if you value people, you'll make sure they have a living wage. You'll make sure that they have security guards available so that when somebody goes out, they don't get locked out in the cold, like happened to one of my colleagues at Teleperformance. And I looked for him. I said, where's Wasif? I haven't seen him. It's a long time. They're like, oh no, he must be just gone to the bathroom. I said, no, it's a long time. And then I had the manager call him and he said, oh, I'm stuck outside. I was trying to call you guys to let me in. This is what I get in response for my being a caring and compassionate person. I get let go from jobs, I get put into debt, I get put into slavery. I mean, I could land up going and working for my uncles and my aunts as their housekeeper. Because without that money that they sent me, I wouldn't be able to live. It's slavery. It's slavery what's being done to me, and I don't deserve it. If they don't want to hire me here in Canada, they should let me go to a country where I can work in management and I can earn that $100,000 a year. Because I was told when I was put out from TD in 2007 that that's the salary I should be earning. Now it's 2025 and I'm still not earning that. It's not fair to me, and it's not fair to people like me who have had to do it on our own, who've had to invest in our education, who've had to travel 3 hours, an hour and a half to work and an hour and a half home. It's not fair to us, the ones who are hardworking, who are ethical, who are honest, who are working for peace and justice. It's very unfair what Canada is doing to us, because we also want those opportunities to come up. And if you're a visible minority or you're from the African diaspora, it's worse. And I'm not joking. I'm not joking about it. Because this other meditation on here for today, it was about how Jesus was always willing to help the sick and always ready to use his gifts. And that's how I am. I'm always ready to help. I'm always ready to use my gifts. I'm always ready to be available to others. but I also have my own needs to take care of. I'm not a stingy person. I'm not somebody who makes others cry when they come and ask me for money, or drags up all the things of the past that happened to me, and because other people would not confirm the truth, I got into trouble. I'm not somebody who, when I manage people, tells people, oh, I would argue that this is an attitude of entitlement, with no consideration that I came here from a third world country, that I was in England and left a refugee, and I didn't have any place to go, and I brought my skills to Canada. But that's what happens to me. That's what happens to me in every company that I work in Canada. And it's completely unfair. I want a good paid job, and I want all these investments, all the pennies I put in to all these companies, I want to see them coming back. And I want to see companies like TD and Teleperformance changing their attitudes and treating people who are good the right way. Because what TD is doing is wrong. I thought it would stop with that money laundering because they got fined so much by the Americans. Now they're closing all the American branches. It's not going to stop now because now America knows what they're doing. Even if they close those American branches, the US regulators are going to come after them. And it's sad because people like me have our reputations tarnished because of what people like them are doing, what their employees are doing. There's good people at TD too, but what's happening now to this country, it's wrong. And why is it happening? Because people don't like the messenger. They don't like people like me who are telling them that what you're doing is wrong. That's what it is. But there's too many of us now, they're not going to be able to stop it because people are sick of it. And it's time people chose the right way and the good way and the good values. Because those millionaires there today, the police are going to arrest them. They're going to arrest them because they went too far. It shouldn't be happening. Not in Canada. Everybody says, oh, look to the west, look to the west. And then when you come here, what do you find? This is what you find. My couch is broken. My sleeper couch is broken. I can't even afford to get somebody to come and take it away and buy a new one. I've had it for 20 years since I came to Canada. If my mother didn't give me some money for my birthday, I wouldn't have been able to even buy this couch that I had to put together. That's how bad it is. That's how bad it is for me. And I don't like this isolation. I want to get a good paid job and go out and be with people and be able to travel and be able to do things normal people do, not sit at home in isolation. I don't like it. If other people like it, more power to them. They can stay at home and be by themselves and never see anyone, never talk to anyone, never do anything, never take any risks. I'm not that type of person. If I was, I wouldn't have graduated, I wouldn't have traveled, I wouldn't have done anything with my life. And it's not fair to me what Canada is allowing to happen, especially in the banks. It's not fair and it's not right.